Rising brethren, this is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, I'm going to give all praises, Most High Yahweh, acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit, acknowledge it Yahushai. I pray the Most High bless this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past and order and sense events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Family, I'm going to talk about a couple things to get more clarification of the times that we are in. See, only a wicked person existing in a wicked kingdom would think that it would be okay for a thief to come and steal your vehicle and then say he keeps it for a few years, and you happen to find this thief and he's still driving around with your vehicle. Only a wicked person in a wicked kingdom would say, well, if you want your car back, you need to pay him fair market value for your car. But see, this is exactly what this wicked kingdom has done. They did it with slavery. You had the use of our people for hundreds of years. And when supposedly we had gotten our freedom in 1865, the government said, we are going to compensate you for your slaves. And in fact, we're going to make laws so that you can re-enslave these people again through constitutional amendments. So it just became slavery by another name. So on top of them getting compensated for the slaves that they lost from the Civil War, they then made laws that led to the re-enslavement of our people again. So they got to double dip. They got all that money for their slaves, as well as getting pro laws, laws that were set up to benefit the slave masters. But this goes back to the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. Because they understand that this is their heaven, and their heaven is now done. So see, they're just Most High is making them put these stories out here, just like as you can see, Trump is there. He's being racist by allowing these South Africans to come in here while he's kicking all of the so-called brown people out and sending them back to their countries. But something you should find very telling is if these people really felt like they were entitled to the rights here, they would be out protesting right now. Did they not say that the Latin population is like the second largest population and that they're growing like crazy and this and that? So you would think that they would be out here protesting the maltreatment of their people. The double standards that Trump and the colonizers are doing to their people. But you see very little pushback. If it was black people like how we were before, we would be out in the streets protesting. Because this is such, an egregious, account of racism that you can easily see. But you don't see that. Because see, this is what a vassal does. A vassal just takes whatever scraps are given them. They used to use these kinds of situations to get our people involved and to go out and protest for other vassals. But as they can see, this is not happening anymore. You might get some vassals out there, but see, the truly awakened are not falling for any of that anymore. So these vassals and the blassels have outlived their usefulness. They're not going, the pastors, the priests, none of them are going to the scriptures and breaking down absolutely anything. All they're doing is going with the same status quo that they always have taught. Same basic scriptures. Same, oh, we're going to be raptured. Oh, Jesus died for our sins. Oh, Jesus doesn't want us to have to, endure any hardships. Oh, stop living in the past. Move forward. We might be sorry, but we're not going to give you your car back. And if you do want something back, you're going to have to compensate us for it. Those are the idiotic things, but those are the wicked things. Because the Most High didn't say, hey, if you have stolen a man, or if a stolen man is found in your hands, you're going to be compensated for having that stolen person in your hands. That is not what Scripture says. So see, you walking around with that Bible, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, from Exodus. It tells you what's going to happen if you have a stolen person in your hands. Or if you've had, stolen properties in your hands. If you're still occupying our stolen lands, what's going to happen to you? So just because your church is saying, oh, Jesus doesn't care if you stole his people. Jesus doesn't care if you've raped, robbed, and murdered and stolen. Jesus doesn't care if you steal a car and you drive it around and have the use of it for multiple years, and then the person you stole the car from finds you, that he's supposed to pay you to get his car back. You really think that's what Yahweh and Yahweh Shai are really? That's something that they would do. See, these are the thoughts of man. These are the the whole thought processes. These are the whole systems that man has set up. This is the religion of man. These are the laws of man that you follow in your churches. And the fact that they even say something like this and you don't even get upset, or you don't even go and say like, hey, this is wrong. This is not correct. None of you say, you just say Ali Bai. And say, don't say a word. That makes you complicit. Just like the gentleman who had his child killed by the cops. And then he killed the cop that killed his son. Eye for an eye, right? But all the police officers are all, trying to act all hard when he's going to court. I think his brother was trying to go into court to support his brother, and they were like kicking him out of the courthouse yesterday. So again, these are not principles of the Most High. These are the doctrines of men. The doctrine of the colonizer says that the colonizer needs to be compensated if you're going to give land back. And a vassal like a Hamite would write a law that says so. That says, oh, well, we're going to take the lands back, but we're going to compensate you for it. That's a vassal. That is not a person of the Most High. That is not a man or woman of the Most High, because the man or woman of the Most High is going to go to Scripture and is going to show you exactly what the Most High is going to do to you if you have stolen a man. This is why Hamites say, oh, you American blacks, we're not like you. We're totally different because we don't dwell in the past. You're right, because you've been following the doctrines of the colonizers. We have not. We weren't even given that opportunity. But you did, so that's why they put you out in the forefront. That's why they try to join Ham and the Israelites together and try to muddy the waters. But that's not going to work anymore. So let's read a little bit of Wisdom of Solomon. I'm going to show you exactly why they seem to think that they need to be compensated for theft. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. For the ungodly says, and this is all coming from the ungodly, the wicked point of view. This is what they're saying behind closed doors. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves. Okay, this is between themselves. This is Psalms 83. But not aright, but not doing it correctly. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. Everyone's going to forget about you after you die. For the breath in our nostrils is a smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a very shadow that shall passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on, therefore, this is it right here, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. This is your YOLO. You only live once for them. That's their mentality. But they don't think about the consequences that come from the way that they're living. They don't think about the angels that are going to come. The good angels and the impious ones. When you've only lived for yourselves, and you just stood idly by watching, the horrible treatment of the Israelites. Or you followed along, or you played along with thinking that you were better than the so-called Israelites, the so-called Negroes. When you watched your priests, raping and violating children and nuns, and you said nothing, but you kept going to their churches. When you watch, horrible things, unlawful things going on with our people, and they pretty much said, well, yeah, we killed his son, but he should just let the courts go ahead and let that play out. He'll get justice. Yeah, we know where they'll kind of just us, you guys are talking about. Just you guys get to do what you want and move on. And we don't get any justice whatsoever here. That's what you guys thought. But let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Now, this is the main part right here about getting the money back for after you guys steal things, thinking that you deserve to be compensated for your thievery. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. That part right there. No one can get in the way of you enjoying your blessing here. So if you steal something, you feel that you got that, you got to steal that thing. That was your right. And that if someone takes it away, someone needs to compensate you for that. Because that's part of your voluptuousness. That's why you thought that, hey, I can get these slaves, I can do whatever I want to them for generation after generation, pass them down from generation to generation. But then once I can't have them anymore, someone needs to compensate me for this. Someone needs to pay me for these slaves. Pay me for the voluptuousness that I'm losing. Okay, I stole your vehicle. All right, well, you found me out. Okay, you found your vehicle. Okay, you just can't take it back. You got to pay me for my voluptuousness that I'm losing. See, this is why they had to set up a whole fake Native American tribe. Because, see, they can pay them or give them a little bit of money for stealing all of their lands, and they can give them a reservation, the lands they don't want, and a casino, and tell them to shut up. This is because they're not going to miss their voluptuousness, their time of getting all the prime lands here on Turtle Island. So they make up a fake people so they can say that they're helping them. Because, see, they can't give everything back to us because they would not be able to enjoy their voluptuousness. You see that? They could kill us, and they don't have to pay for that. They don't have to go to jail for killing us. Why? Because that would interfere with them being able to enjoy their voluptuousness in this life. So now you can take this many different areas where we don't receive justice. How you other nations got a chance to come over here and get free dainties. You get to get free money, free housing, right? Free medical care, free very low interest loans for businesses. Why is that? Because again, let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. So long as you hate the Israelites, so long as you all work together to keep them down, you get a piece of this voluptuousness. You see now? So again, let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. That's why it seems ridiculous, but now you understand. If you look at this verse right here, verse 9, it explains it all. So you can see it all over the place. Why, hey, we can't get, when we fought for civil rights, they didn't give us what we deserved. They didn't give us what we fought for. They never try to make things fair. They didn't give us our 40 acres and a mule. Why would that? Because that would interfere with them getting to enjoy their voluptuousness. If they got to give us 40 acres and a mule, then that's less land that they're not going to be able to have. That's less land that they're not going to be able to pass down to their children. See how this works? It all works together. How they got to be able to enjoy their voluptuousness. And now that we've come to the end, this is why only certain people are able to be awakened. Not everyone. See, they try to push that, hey, this is for everyone. Everyone going to highways and byways, stand there. Hey, whoever has been enjoying the voluptuousness of this state, of this time, this was your blessing. And there's no blessing to come now. Now all this voluptuousness you've been enjoying has to be paid for. So again, verse 9, let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this. This is why they leave, they used to have all their little statues up for their joyfulness about, commemorating slavery, commemorating the places that they found. All of that. The stuff that they founded. They didn't build it, that they founded. The things that they say that they accomplished here. At our expense. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Goes again with, that right there goes with Baruch chapter 4. Okay? And they're coming over here and being able to enslave our people. And destroy our people. And take our lands. And not give them back. Because again, that will be interfering with their voluptuousness. And their time to enjoy it. Let our strength be the law of just us. That is their strength. Just us. We, the people of Psalms 83, get to enjoy the dainties and the voluptuousness of this realm. Again, let our strength be the law of just us. Only we can get, recompense. Only we can be the ones that, hey, after we steal your car and you want it back, you need to pay us fair market value. After we stole your lands and you want them back, you've got to pay us what the lands are worth today. Does that not sound ridiculous? Okay, I stole your lands. I just put a flag down and I said these lands are mine. And now I got to wait till 2025? And now you got to pay me millions of dollars for a little piece of land? Billions of dollars for a little piece of land that you didn't buy, you didn't pay, you just put a flag down. And now we owe you trillions of dollars for land that was ours in the first place? Yeah, does that make absolutely any sense? None. But that goes back with this. Let our strength be the law of just us. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Okay? Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. So the ones who are not getting justice, we were, treated this way because we were not for their turn. We were not here for their turn. This was their opportunity to rule and reign. This was their opportunity to enjoy their voluptuousness. This is why we never got justice. So all these groups saying that they're us, but they've been receiving the dainties, they've been receiving, compensation, even if it's a little bit of compensation, shows you that they're not the righteous. Because the righteous were going to receive nothing. This is why they could bomb Black Wall Street and nothing ever happened to them. Why? Why is that? Because let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. We were doing too well. They were not able to enjoy it. They were not able to exploit us. So therefore they could make up whatever story they wanted to, kill our people, bomb our people with their planes, and then hide all of that. Because we were interfering with their voluptuousness time. Okay? So therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy, and transgressing of our education. Right? Again, transgressings of our education. Their history, talking about their history and the stuff that they want to talk about, how they want to frame it, telling their stories from the perspective of the victor. He professeth to have the knowledge of the Most High. Is that not what's happening right now? Absolutely. And he calleth himself the child of the Most High. Well, that's what we're telling you right now. We told you before, but then we were given into your hands, and then you were able to enjoy your voluptuousness by destroying our people and never giving us justice. And this is what was killing you guys before, and it's definitely killing you today. He professeth to have the knowledge of the Most High, and he calleth himself the child of the Most High. He was made to reprove our thoughts. Now, if you're not reproving their thoughts, then you're not of the Most High's chosen people. If all you're doing is regurgitating what they're telling you to do and what they're telling you to say, then how can you be reproving their thoughts? If you're only reading the books that they approve, how can you reprove their thoughts? They think that the Most High is only talking in 66/80 books. That's what they tell you. So how are you going to reprove their thoughts if you're only reading what they say? They say Jacob's trouble is coming in the future, and that they have not already been executing Jacob's trouble. If you're going along with that, how are you reproving their thoughts? If you're not telling them that Revelation 6 and 8 is telling you about 1492, see, they don't tell you that. They tell you that this is something that's going to happen in the future after they're raptured away, and you go along with it. Many black people, so-called black people, go along with that BS. The Antichrist is coming in the future. When the Antichrist has been here, that spirit's been here for a very long time. Thousands of years. So again, if you're just regurgitating what they say, pastors, priests, many Israelites, regurgitating, then you're not reproving their thoughts. You're allowing them to dictate what we think. You're allowing them to dictate how we interpret our scriptures. If you still believe that little strip of land, that all of us, hundreds of millions of people, Israelites, Shem, that we're all over that one little itty bitty strip of land that they say. Again, if you still believe in that, you're not reproving their thoughts. You're going along with what they're telling you. They told you that's the Holy Land over there. You're not reproving their thoughts. If you're still believing that these natives that are still over here talking, running, these pretendians are the people, that's what they told you. That they're government approved. They're government approved natives. So therefore, you're going along with what they're saying. You're not reproving their thoughts. You're still pushing us being African American, and you're going along with that. You're not reproving their thoughts. You're going along with what they say. Believing that our history started with slavery. You're not reproving their thoughts. You're going along with what they're saying and what they've been saying. You see what I'm saying? He is grievous unto us to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. And ours is because we have the laws such as the commandments of the Most High, and we do things contrary to them. That's why they had the whole Inquisition chasing us down. Anytime they saw us doing what we were supposed to be doing, or doing the things that the Most High had ordained, they killed us. They arrested us. They tortured us to death. That's what they were going. That's why they were going after Jews, and they did the same thing when they came over here to the Americas. They were going after the Israelites because they were following their ways. And that goes to verse 15. He is grievous unto us to behold. They didn't want to see us following our father's ways. That's why they cut us off from our history. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. For his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. That's why in Maccabees, they were forcing us to eat pork. Forcing us to follow their ways. Forcing us to follow their gods. Not allowing us to gather together on the Sabbath or our feast days. Not allowing us to follow our traditions. Why? We saw chapter 2 right there in 15. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. Just to even see us causes their spirit, to mourn. Makes their evil spirits go crazy. Because they know their future. They know who really has the power. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed. He knows that the end for us, the end for the just people is to be blessed. The end of the road for us is to be blessed, which means us to be the head. So again, for them, that means that they're going to be the tail. And every time that they see us, they're reminded of the fact that they are going to go from being the head to the tail forever. And it is grievous to them. It causes them strife. It hurts their spirit. It destroys their spirits. That is why they are terrified to see us rising at this time. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that the Most High is his Father, which is exactly what we do. You guys all know the rest of that. So now let us continue. Well, hold on. Let me read a little bit more. Let us see if the words be true, if his words be true. And let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. See, they thought that the end was them killing us. They thought the end of us was us being tortured. But it told you right there before, the end of the just is to be blessed. They're like, well, you're not being blessed now while we're killing you, and we're doing these things to you, and we're not giving you any justice for what we're doing. For if the just man be the son of the Most High, he will help him and deliver him from the hands of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine and were deceived. For their own wickedness hath blinded them. As for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. That's why they don't know anything about what happens after you die. There's a reward for blameless souls. But they say, oh, the dead don't speak. Your ancestors don't know anything. When when you read other books, they're waiting for the people who wronged them. They are well aware, because even the people who did the horrible things, they're aware of the things that they did here. They remember their brothers and sisters that are here. Just like the rich man wanted Lazarus to go back and warn his brothers, as if somehow he was in some position of authority in the spirit realm, trying to give orders to have Lazarus sent back to warn his brothers and family. He still thought that he was in a position to tell other people what to do, because that's what he did when he was here. But everything switches That's why, and there it says that, what Abraham said, in life you had your good things. Remember that? During your time, in your life, you had your good things. What does that mean? You enjoyed your voluptuousness. You had your good things in this life. Let me get that real quick. Hold on. When you had your good things here, again, that's that whole voluptuousness that you enjoyed here. And we're all well aware of that. So to think that you're gonna see, that goes against that whole, hey, you get to do whatever you want here, and you get to go to heaven and enjoy that too. You get to go up to heaven, and you get to enjoy all of heaven too. That shows you pretty much that, hey, you got your good things here. You got your blessings here. You don't get to get your blessings, and you don't get to get your blessings here on earth, and then also enjoy the blessings when you get to heaven. It doesn't work like that. Hold on, family, for some reason. I'm not going to get that right now. Let me continue because I have more to go on to. So we know that from the good man and Lazarus. We know the story, right? And like Abraham told him, don't forget that. And here, on this plane here, you enjoyed your good things. And Lazarus, did not. Lazarus was sick and poor and didn't receive his good things here. He received them after death. So here, Exodus 21 and 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. It doesn't say, hey, compensate them for them slaves. Pay them fair market value for them slaves. See, that shows you right there that is not a biblical, interaction with people. You don't get to, get money for enslaving people. Most High is going to kill you if you sold him, and for the purchaser, because if he be found in his hand. So one person selling them, one person buying them, both of them will be put to death. There's no get over it. There's no, hey, let bygones be bygones. Hey, we gave you your freedom. No, because you still just made new laws to keep us enslaved. And all these people, oh, we're all slaves now. Did somebody sell you? Did someone capture you? Did someone sell you? Did someone move you? No, we're not. It's not the same slavery, because what you're seeing now is not the same thing. So that's what I want to see. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Now see, Nat Turner was able to read, and he saw that whatever Scripture says that we should be following the slave master, another one says that slave master is going to be put to death. Like it says one thing and it says the opposite as well, which is what the Bible does. But that's why we were not allowed to read. But see, for Nat wanting freedom for his people, they put him to death, chopped him up, put out different party parts all over the place in order to bring fear to the people. See, that is an unrighteous kingdom. But they could do that. Why? Because they were still in their blessing, and everyone got a piece of their voluptuousness. And Nat Turner killed some people that actually didn't, kept them from being able to to enjoy their voluptuousness. So they had to make an example out of him, just like they do today, by killing our people, and then being able to do whatever they want, because there was their time of their voluptuousness. But now that is over with. And this goes along with that too, as well. Revelation 13, 9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So if you took those slaves in 1865 into captivity, you guys should have went into captivity back then, according to what the Most High says. But you didn't. You actually got compensated for that. You didn't go into captivity. You got to keep all your lands and everything else, and you got paid. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. The saints are our ancestors that are up in heaven, under the altar, asking every day for the Most High to bring judgment. To bring judgment to the ones that wronged them. And who are these people? The ones that were led into captivity and the ones that were killed with the sword. You guys have all been fighting to keep your voluptuousness going. But that voluptuousness, the time of that enjoyment is over with. The time of you enjoying that is over. So now we understand why you seem to think it's okay for you guys to be able to enjoy all of the dainties, all the great things, and but that is, like I said, it's a wrap now. It is an absolute wrap. I'm gonna see if I can get this video to play. Give me a quick second, family. I'm trying to find something.
I'm sorry to say it, but a couple years ago, I was one of the people.
Okay, this is a white woman who says everything goes back to slavery. It's a TikTok video. And they're realizing, look, everything does go back to slavery. Exodus 21:16, Revelation 13:9 and 10. This is how you got to enjoy your voluptuousness. So just listen. She's like pretty much telling you, like, I used to believe, like, everybody talks about slavery. She didn't want to hear it. But when she started doing some research, she realized that everything goes back to slavery. Yes, everything about you enjoying your voluptuousness goes back to slavery.
I'm sorry to say it, but a couple years ago, I was one of the people that was like, man, guys, not everything is about slavery, like you're reaching. And then I started learning history, and I was like, oh my gosh, everything goes back to slavery. I'll look up a law. I'll be like, where did this law come from? It's like, law was made specifically to keep white rich people in power and prevent certain people from voting. And I'm like, holy cannoli, goes back to slavery. Interesting. I was looking up Wall Street. Wall Street used to be the base of a slave trade. Not necessarily surprised. Abraham Lincoln, the person that I was personally taught in school, ended slavery single-handedly. He actually, didn't even care about ending slavery, didn't care about equality really at all. It was completely politically motivated. Yeah, it all goes back to slavery, my guys. It's pretty crazy. Just start looking stuff up. Where did this come from? What's this about? Why did this start? Slavery. Holy cannoli. I'm sorry to say it, but
that's it. Everything goes back to slavery. So when you look at Exodus 21:16, if everything goes back to slavery, all your laws, all the stuff that you guys have been setting up, for you to be able to enjoy your voluptuousness, it all goes back to slavery. But that's why it says in Exodus 21:16, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. All of your voluptuousness, all of your, dainties goes back to slavery. Not just any slavery, right? But chattel slavery that was set up by your church, the Catholic Church, in 1502. But you ask a Catholic, they're not going to want to talk about that. That's why you were taught to hate us so much, because all of the voluptuousness that you've been enjoying, all the stuff you've been enjoying, goes back to that. And see, that's why they're trying to get everybody to, oh, gingers are redhead. They're black. They have nothing to do with 1502 and that type of chattel slavery. They didn't use redheads to be able to enjoy the white man's voluptuousness. It was only one group of people that they had to keep down in order for them to enjoy their voluptuousness. And it wasn't all the people who also now want to be black. It wasn't because of your Pope who now wants to be black. He did not go through slavery like that. He's a blassel, if not just a regular old colonizer. I said, because it doesn't even matter. I said, they keep talking about, that's why they try to really go over the whole black thing and try to make it all encompassing of anyone that has some kind of melanin, when that's not the case. We all have different spirits. And that's why some people are drawn to enjoy the voluptuousness of this place. Different colors. Brown, black, yellow, green, white. They're all, because they know they have a different spirit. So therefore they know that this is their heaven. And that this is where they're going to get their voluptuousness now. Because they know there's nothing coming for them in the future. All praise is Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement of the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.